Esther, we're getting a divorce.
What?
You went back to your mom and dad's place after getting discharged from the hospital. They have ramps and all that crap, so it's wheelchair friendly, right? There's no sense you coming back to me. I just terminated the contract on the apartment, so it ain't like there's anywhere for you to come back to anyway.
Barry, what the hell? Just slow down a minute. The only reason I came back to live with my folks is because our apartment isn't wheelchair friendly. It was only supposed to be a temporary arrangement. Wasn't the plan to find a new wheelchair friendly place to move in together?
Maybe it was at one point, but you know what? That sounds like a real pain in the ass.
What?
Listen, babe, I'm real grateful for you jumping in to save me like that. I would have been in major trouble if not for you. Who knows, I could have even died. It sucks that you ended up in a wheelchair after falling down the stairs. But you know what, Sugar Dumpling? That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Thing is, Sweetie Pie, all this time alone, I've been doing some thinking. The fact that your mom and dad's place is wheelchair friendly must mean you had some close friend or relative in a wheelchair living there before.
Yes, my grandma. Apparently they had some improvements made on the house to make her life there as smooth and stress-free as possible.
Basically, your family home, where they have experience looking after cripples, is a far more suitable care environment than anything I could possibly provide. Think about it. You know I'm right.
Oh my god.
As soon as I realized that, it dawned on me just how pointless our relationship is. You're dead weight, and divorce is the only answer.
How could you do this? You make it sound like you don't even care about me. I'm in a difficult enough place mentally as it is, Barry. I'm in a wheelchair for crying out loud. Did you really have to do this now of all times? Oh my god, my world is falling apart.
Oh yeah, that too!
Huh?
Ever since you got put in a wheelchair, you've been giving off this miserable, depressing aura. Like you're constantly begging for sympathy. And I gotta tell you, babe, it's been hard on me.
What the? How could you say this?
In any case, I ain't got no interest in continuing married life with a depressing, crippled loser like you. That's why we're getting a divorce. I'll mail the divorce papers to your folks' place. Make sure you get them signed and handed in ASAP. Your folks are gonna have to push you there, obviously. See ya!
3 years later.
Hey, Esther, it's been a while.
Huh? Is that Barry?
Can you believe it's been a whole 3 years? Time sure flies when you're having fun, huh?
What do you want?
I'm messaging you because there's something I wanted to tell you.
What?
I'm getting remarried!
That's great. Congratulations.
Haha, thanks, babe.
Was that all you wanted to tell me?
Huh?
Surely it would be kind of weird if the only reason you wanted to message your ex-wife after 3 years was to tell her you're getting remarried. Surely that wasn't the only thing? To be honest, I think I forgot to block you because I was dead certain you'd never message me again. After all, why would you? I didn't see this one coming. If that was all you wanted to tell me, let's leave it there. I'd appreciate it if you didn't contact me again.
Aha! I knew it! I knew messaging you was the right thing to do.
What? Why?
It's as plain as day. You still have feelings for me, don't you, babe?
Excuse me?
You know how when you tell a kid not to push a button, they always end up pushing it? It was reverse psychology. You thought by telling me not to contact you, I'd get in touch with you again someday, and you'd have another shot at the prize. Me. I can read you like a book.
I'd appreciate it if you stopped playing games and acting so strange. We're done. Barry, and that's final. Now please, stop messaging me. Just leave me alone. You're really annoying.
One more thing. My fiance is the daughter of the CEO of a major company. I take a huge sigh of relief every time I remember how I never would have found myself such a good woman if we didn't divorce. Whew, talking about dodging a bullet. Can you imagine? Me, forced to be permanent live-in carer to some whiny cripple for the rest of my life? I made the right decision.
Wow.
Aha! There it is! The jealousy rears its ugly head. Ha ha ha! I guess no one can blame you. I'm a rugged, fine specimen of a man who can have any woman he wants. And you're in a wheelchair.
Is this the real reason you messaged me?
Huh?
Did you just want to mock and ridicule me for being in a wheelchair? To gloat about how much better you think you are than me? About how much better you think your life is than mine?
I guess it can't be helped. It is the truth after all.
I'd appreciate it if you kept your malicious, spiteful judgments about what you think my life must be like to yourself.
Aw, is someone a little mad? Does baby want a dummy?
I suggest you be careful about what you say.
What? Is that a threat? I'm quaking in my boots here, honest.
It'd be an awful shame if you said the wrong thing and forced me to take revenge on you when you least expected it.
Whatever, you jealous loser. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I'll invite you to the wedding. It could be good for you. Think about it. If you see how blissfully happy me and my new wife are together with your own eyes, it might help you finally let go of your feelings for me.
Feelings for you? I honestly could not care less about you.
Great, that settles it then. I'll send the invite out to your folks' place.
I don't want one, and I'm not going. Truthfully, I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
I know how stubborn you are, so I know you'll probably reply not attending, despite wanting to come more than anything. But I'm preparing some space for your wheelchair, so you better show up.
I said I'm not going. The day of the wedding.
Hey, Esther! I knew it! You were so adamant you weren't gonna come, but I knew it was all an act. You actually came, didn't you? Priceless! I saw a woman in a wheelchair making her way towards the wedding hall from the waiting room window. I knew it! Your feelings for me are unshakable, and you came in spite of your protest. You can't run from love, babe! Or roll in your case. Problem is, I filled the space I had ready for you, cause you sent the invite back saying you weren't attending. They don't even make movies this entertaining. Sorry, sweet cheeks, but I could hardly let you in without a confirmed invite. My hands were tied. I knew I did the right thing by warning my buddy on reception. I said, hey, Timmy, if some bimbo in a wheelchair shows up, you make sure you turn her away immediately. You got that, Val? Why? Because she's my ex-wife. He messaged me just now saying he sent you packing the moment you showed up. He said the look in your face was priceless. Enjoy the journey home. I hope you brought someone to push you.
Barry, I'm sorry, but I'm completely lost. What are you talking about?
Cripple, go home! Go home, go home, go home! Cripple, go home! Go home, go home, go home! G-O-H-O-M-E!
But I never came in the first place?
Huh?
As you well know, I sent the invite back with the not attending box very clearly ticked. As I told you before, I had no intention of going, and I didn't. So what the hell are you talking about?
Huh? But in that case, who was the one I saw from the waiting room window?
Obviously, it wasn't me.
Wait, what? Seriously?
The next day.
How in the heck of the baby Lord Jesus' name was I supposed to know, you stinky bimbo?
Wow, where did that come from all of a sudden?
The woman in the wheelchair I kicked out of the wedding after mistaking her for you yesterday was actually my wife's childhood friend. My wife flipped out at me big time for giving her the boot. Apparently they were real close, like sisters. I've never seen her this mad. She's threatening to divorce me, you goddamn evil witch! This is all your fault for being in that godforsaken wheelchair! How dare you!
This is my fault? Amazing! You literally have zero ability to self-reflect, do you? So this must mean your wife's childhood friend was one of the invites she sent out. Which also means the necessary arrangements to accommodate a guest in a wheelchair would have been taken by the organizers of the ceremony. Surely there's no way the groom wouldn't have been made aware of something like this at his own wedding. Or maybe you were, and you just weren't listening. Which was it?
Well,
Or maybe you were listening, but you forgot?
Actually,
If by any chance were you leaving all of the wedding arrangements to your wife, you were taking on your fair share of the responsibility, weren't you, Barry?
well,
Let's face it, you always were the kind of guy to come up with nonsensical excuses every time you deemed something to be a pain in the ass. Even if the thing you were escaping from was very clearly something you should have been taking responsibility for. That's always the kind of guy you were, wasn't it, Barry?
the heck are you talking about? You make me sick, woman. Look at you. So what? So I made one teensy-weensy, teeny-weeny little mistake. I'm human, aren't I? Get off your high horse, you self-racist witch. This just proves you still have feelings for me. It gets more obvious with each message.
Keep dreaming.
Maybe try learning to walk again, cripple. Who knows? You might even be able to get remarried like me.
Huh? Oh, right. I see. You don't know anything about my situation these days, do you?
What else is there to know? You're a friendless, single, shut-in hermit cripple who lives with her elderly parents and relies on them 24/7 to care for her. I don't need to ask to know that.
I gave the rehab everything I had after the divorce and made huge improvements. Doctors tell me I'm well and truly on the road to recovery.
Huh?
They also tell me that if I carry on working hard, there's a good chance I'll be able to walk normally again one day, as if the accident never happened.
Wait, what? Seriously?
This isn't exactly new though, is it? They've been saying this since the beginning.
What? They have?
Looks like my suspicions were right. You divorced me without even properly listening to what the doctors had to say, didn't you?
I did? Oh man.
Oh, by the way, your new wife asked me to pass on this message.
Huh?
You're despicable. I want a divorce, now.
Wait, what? What? What the heck? How is she speaking to you?
She just showed up at my house because she wanted to ask me some questions.
Uh-oh.
She was pretty curious about the background behind her divorce, and of course, I, being super friendly and sociable, told her everything. She was absolutely furious about how you treated her childhood friend yesterday. She said she suddenly felt like she no longer knew you. She's on her way to you with the divorce papers now. Apparently, she never wants to see you again after you sign them. A few days later.
Sup, honey cheeks? I catch you waiting a long time, huh? You can finally remarry me now!
Excuse me?
Ah, don't worry. It won't count as cheating or infidelity or anything like that. I'm newly divorced now, so there's nothing stopping us. I'm single and ready to mingle.
There's nothing stopping us from doing what exactly?
I might be a two-time divorcee, but I'm pretty sure that technically goes back down to one with me and you getting remarried. What's more, now that I know you're not going to be a wheelchair anymore, it'll be just like before. You'll be a normal person again. However, there is just one small condition. My bitch ex-wife is demanding ungodly amounts of compensation and saying I owe her all the money she put into planning the wedding. The total comes to just shy of 40K. As long as you pay off that for me, you can have me back. Your family are filthy rich, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? Just give old Pops a call and this'll be settled in a jiffy. I'll be heading over to your folks' place tomorrow, so make sure you have the marriage registration stuff dealt with before I arrive, okay, sweet cheeks?
Would you mind slowing down for a sec? There's something you should know.
What is it?
I already got remarried.
Huh?
I fell in love with the physio who oversaw my rehab at the hospital. He's such an amazing man. He was there for me when I was at my lowest, when my head was all over the place after being so cruelly and heartlessly tossed aside like some piece of trash when you realized I was in a wheelchair.
You married the physio? Oh, this is the first I've heard of it.
Is there a reason I need to give detailed reports on my private life to my ex-husband?
But I gave you reports on my private life.
I don't remember there being any kind of rule saying I have to do that.
Wait, does this mean you won't marry me? It's gonna be a lot harder trying to find a new wife as a two-time divorcee, you know. Have you even thought about how this is gonna affect me?
I'm praying that one day you'll have an epiphany and realize that this was entirely your fault. But something tells me I'll be praying for a long time.
What?
It'd be a miracle if you found an oddball crazy enough to marry a cruel, selfish, heartless, mean-spirited, good-for-nothing loser like you.
What? That's just uncalled for!
Never contact me again. Goodbye. Later on, I found out the real reason my ex-husband went out of his way to tell me he was getting remarried was that, apparently, at the time of the divorce, his friends and family found out he was ending things because the thought of caring for his then-crippled wife was too much for a nuisance. Unable to cope with his newfound reputation as a total scumbag, he hatched a plan to heal his damaged reputation. The idea was to goad me into causing a scene at his wedding by provoking me into a jealous rage so he could paint me as some kind of deranged psycho whom he had no choice but to divorce. I really am tired of him. Talk about dodging a bullet. Amazingly, his parents were nothing like him, and me and them had always gotten along, so a few days later, I decided to tell them everything. They immediately hung their heads in shame and apologized profusely. His mom said, as if the shenanigans at the wedding weren't bad enough, "My goodness, Esther, we're so sorry." They vowed to keep a watchful eye on him to ensure he could never hurt anyone again. Last I heard, he was being forced to work to exhaustion to pay off his debts by his ex-military dad.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Trent, you're done with work now, right? Or do you have overtime again today?
Oh, hi, Alex. Yep, I have overtime again today, just like always.
This must be what? The 5th day in a row? Are you all right?
What do you mean?
Like, your health. Are you feeling okay? I know it can't be helped that your company is busy, but try not to overdo it, okay, babe? Remember to be kind to yourself.
You done yet?
Huh?
I want to get back to work now. You done yet?
Sure. What about supper?
Don't bother. I don't need any tonight either.
Got it.
Bye.
A few months later. Trent, do you have overtime again today?
Yeah.
You sure have had a lot of overtime these last few months, huh? I haven't known anyone that worked this much. I don't even remember the last time you came home on time.
So what? Quit your whining. Who are you, my mom? I'm making a heck of a lot more money for it. You should be thanking me.
It's just, I don't really see it reflected in your salary. If you're making so much money, where is it all going?
Huh?
I've never seen any of your payday invoices because you deal with all that stuff. But the money being paid into our joint bank account every month is no different from the time you did no overtime at all. Despite the fact you work so many hours in a week these days, your company's probably in violation of the Labor Standards Act.
Well, yeah, of course. It's because I'm doing, service overtime. Yeah, that's it.
Huh?
Listen, babe, I haven't told you about this, but the truth is our company's not doing so well lately. The CEO said he was desperate for people to do extra, but turnover was so bad they couldn't afford to cover us for it. So he lowered his head and practically begged me. I felt bad for him. Plus, I've been at this company for a while and they've always been good to me, so yeah. I'm doing service overtime. That's why my salary looks the same.
I see. Is that so?
Yeah, it is. People are saying if we can pull together as a team and get through this rough patch, we'll be back up to our old strength before long. That's why I need you to stop complaining and have my back for a change. This is out of my hands, babe. It can't be helped.
I see. All right. 1 month later. Trent, do you have a minute? I need to talk to you. It won't take long.
What do you want?
Are you still at work?
Yeah, I told you before, right? I'm doing service overtime. It's out of my hands. You need to stop bothering me while I'm at work.
Oh, that's interesting. You wouldn't actually happen to be, say, at a hotel with your lover, would you?
Huh?
All this crap about overtime wouldn't happen to be an excuse for you to go off on seedy little trysts with your lover, the CEO's wife, would it? And you wouldn't have just happened to have been fired earlier this week for your affair with said CEO's wife, would you? Does any of this ring any bells, Trent?
What the hell? How?
Listen, your dismissal notice just came today.
My what?
A letter addressed to you from the company came. Then your manager, you know, the one who we met through, and some other stiff corporate-looking guys showed up at our door out of the blue this morning. I'm sure you've been made aware of the situation with your husband through the dismissal notice we sent, but we wanted to let you know he was, in fact, dismissed for gross misconduct.
What the heck? They must have been pranksters, babe. I'm at work right now.
Cut the crap, Trent. They told me they felt I had a right to know why you were dismissed, because it was something that would influence my life greatly. They told me you were having an affair with the current CEO's wife. When I asked, they told me that she's also the daughter of the previous CEO. You really picked a blinder with her, didn't you?
Well, damn it. What's the point? Whatever, the secret's out. I can't hide it anymore. Okay, fine, I'm having an affair. Everything they told you is true. I'm in a sexual relationship with Melissa Silverstein, the daughter of the previous CEO and the wife of the current one.
Why do you sound so proud to announce it? They told me that's why you got fired.
What of it? It was nothing more than a vain attempt at revenge to soothe the CEO's profound butthurt.
Revenge?
You still don't get it, do you? Pitiful. All it takes is one look at Melissa's titles to realize what I'm getting at here.
Huh? Daughter of the previous CEO and wife of the current one? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, bingo! Think about it for a moment, you dimwit. How do you imagine my future to look, being loved by a woman like that?
I don't follow.
Bright, dazzling, and envied by all.
Excuse me? The only future I can see for you right now is one where you're perpetually crushed by the suffocating pressure of the enormous compensation payments you're gonna owe to me and the CEO. That might not be so bad if you had a job to come up with the money, but you just got fired for gross misconduct. Your future looks pretty dark, gloomy, and miserable to me. Which part of that is supposed to be dazzling or enviable? Do you even realize the magnitude of what you've done?
What the frick are you talking about? You're surprisingly stupid. Did I really marry someone who's this much of a moron?
What's so funny?
It's true, I'll almost definitely owe you and the CEO a hefty sum in compensation. On top of that, the CEO will almost definitely divorce Melissa. However, think, Alex, just think for once in your life. Show me what that little peanut between your ears is capable of. Okay, I get it's probably hopeless, your mind's just too slow. I'll just explain. The point is, Melissa will still be the daughter of the previous CEO.
Sure, so what?
Basically, if me and Melissa get married, I'll become the next CEO.
What? Wait, what?
Jesus, woman, do you still not understand?
I don't understand how you can be this much of an idiot. Oh my, I almost feel bad for you. Let me make sure we're on the same page here. So you think that if you marry the daughter of the last CEO, you automatically become the next one? Please, can you just confirm that's what you're actually trying to say?
Yep, you got it. Maybe you're not such a dummy after all. You see, Melissa's an only child, with no brothers to inherit the company. Whoever she marries automatically becomes the next CEO. Surely that's obvious.
By extension of that logic, if the current CEO divorces Melissa, he automatically loses his position as CEO? Is that what you're claiming?
Yep, you got it, sweet cheeks. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to the moon, baby! Then the whole epic will draw to a close with me firing the old CEO after a dramatic speech in front of the whole company on the dawn of my rise to power. The movie's about to begin, and I'm the MC.
You're more detached from reality than I thought. I hate to tell you this, Trent, but I'm not so sure if this is gonna go down quite how you expect it to. Anyway, that aside, I'm gonna be going back to my folks' place this evening. I'll leave the divorce papers on the table. See to it that they get signed and handed in. I intend on finding a lawyer and leaving everything to do with the compensation up to him later this week. So when the invoice turns up, make sure you pay.
Sure, whatever. I hand the papers in today and even pay you a generous sum in compensation. I feel bad for you, you know. It must hurt to lose a guy like me. I gotta admit, I didn't expect my secret to get out this early, but it looks like I'm gonna get my happy ending all the same. Before long, my dream of becoming CEO will be a reality. I'll be the boss, and everyone will bow down to me. Me!
Lord, give me strength. 2 weeks later.
Alex, I've changed my mind. The divorce is off. I repeat, the divorce is off. Abort! Damn and blast it! I forgot I handed in the papers! Oh, whatever, no biggie. Just go and register us to get married again, okay, sweetie pea? Let's get back together.
Ah, Trent, good morning. I was just about to message you.
Yeah, of course you were. I'm glad we're on the same page here, baby. Me and you were meant to be together forever. Let's face it, I'm hardly a guy you can forget about overnight, am I?
I hate to do this to you after you just got fired, but you owe me compensation for the affair.
What?
I don't feel like I should even have to say this, but we are never, ever, ever getting back together. Give me a break. Who the hell would get back with a dirtbag who cheated on them?
But Alex, me and you were always meant to be together. Do you believe in fate? I do, and I've always thought me and you were fated, like soulmates, you know? That's why we need to...
I take it you just realized you're not gonna be CEO and are panicking to try and salvage something resembling a life? I mean, it was obviously never gonna happen. I worked at that company for a long time before we got married. It was clear to me back then that the only people who made CEO were those who did so on their own merit and hard work. Your lover Melissa's marriage to the CEO only came about through marriage talks established after he stepped up to his current position. She has nothing to do with management or succession.
Oh my God.
And come on, Trent, really? What kind of company appoints their CEOs based on who happens to be married to the daughter of the last guy who ran the place? Can you imagine how quickly they'd go bankrupt?
No, Alex, I'm different. I've got what it takes. I would have kept everyone in line. I'll just slam my face down on my CEO's desk and everyone will be soon doing their jobs like obedient little worker ants. We'll be smashing productivity records.
Wow. Is there not even a little part of you that suspects there might be more to a CEO's job than that? It's true, I've never been a manager myself, and I don't claim to be any kind of expert on what a CEO's work duties entail. But applying even a tiny bit of common sense, there's no way the head of such an enormous organization could keep things running just by slamming his fist on his desk and trying to look tough. In fact, I think even an elementary school kid could figure that out. Do you have any idea how naive you sound?
But Melissa, a woman of very high status loves me, and nothing will change that.
Like I said, that's meaningless at that company. Even if, for argument's sake, there are companies who appoint successors on such a ludicrous system, which I doubt, that company most definitely does not. In reality, even if she and the CEO do divorce, that still doesn't mean you'll be getting a look in. The only thing you managed to achieve with this ridiculous plot of yours was getting fired. Well done, doofus. You proud? I heard Melissa just got disowned by her parents, too. Don't you think your fates in all this tell the whole story?
But...
Even if you don't want to admit how tragically foolish and arrogant you've been, surely there's a part of you that's capable of basic logic and understands the hopelessness of your situation. After all, why else would you come begging me to take you back? Because any hope you had of paying back the enormous amount of compensation you owe just vanished before your eyes.
If you understand that, then give me another chance, please. You're all I've got.
Didn't I tell you we're never getting back together?
Maybe so, but you can change your mind, can't you?
No. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I received Melissa's portion of the compensation ages ago.
What? No way!
According to her representative, she plans to do her utmost to find a new job to help her pay off the loan she had to take out to cover it. They wouldn't tell me anything else, though.
You're lying, right?
Nope, that's more your area of expertise. Goodbye! A few days later.
Alex, help me, please. This is serious now. The company found out I've been overclaiming on corporate expenses. They're demanding I pay them back every cent. Holy crap, there's no way I can pay this. My life is over. Ah! I didn't think it'd be a problem since it was all gonna be my money one day anyway when I became CEO. But the company lawyer started preaching to me about how even if I was CEO, it would never be acceptable to use company expenses to fund expensive restaurants and holidays. Between that and the compensation you're demanding, I owe almost $100K. Can you believe that? $100,000. I screwed up. I screwed up big time. Alex, please, I'm begging you. Can we just call it quits on the compensation? Could you maybe help me pay back the 7 years worth of embezzled corporate expenses too? Please? I know we can do it. If we join forces and work as a team, we can claw our way out of this together. I believe in us, babe. Alex!
Go away.
Huh?
I divorced you because I don't want anything to do with you ever again. Do not contact me, you delusional freak.
No, your words. They cut like a knife through my heart. How could you do this to me, Alex?
Later on. It was plainly obvious talking to Trent that he wasn't going to get me my money, so I went over to his parents' place for a chat. When I explained everything that had happened until now, they both let out a sigh of relief so big it was like every oxygen molecule was expelled from their body in a single breath. They told me they were going to force him to work at a forestry company run by one of their acquaintances, and along with instilling some discipline in him, promised they'd see to it that I got my compensation. Apparently, they also made the same promise to his old company regarding the embezzled expenses. A few days later, my tragic ex-husband was sighted crying his eyes out while banging on the back of windows of a black sedan driving away in the direction of the countryside. It's actually kind of embarrassing to think I married such a delusional moron in the first place. On a side note, I felt strangely inspired by watching my lawyer at work. His rhetorical abilities and work ethic were just something else. So inspired, in fact, that I decided to try and become a lawyer myself. I know how tough it's gonna be, but I'm determined to do my best.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Patricia, can I talk to you for a second?
Hi, Mackenzie. What's up?
Did you take money out of my wallet again?
What are you talking about?
I had $1,000 in cash, but now there's only $800. This is the third time this has happened, you know?
Oh, come on. I don't know anything about that. I bet you just miscounted how much you actually had and thought you had $1,000. Can you stop accusing me without having any proof?
I do have proof.
Huh?
I always have a voice recorder in my bag for work. It seems like I accidentally left the record button on. And when I checked it, guess what I heard? Oh my goodness, she only has $1,000? I guess she won't notice if I take $200. I'll just tell her she miscounted. I heard what you said.
You were eavesdropping?
No, I wasn't eavesdropping. I'm just telling you that I had a voice recorder in my purse.
I can't believe you would invade my privacy like that.
Privacy has nothing to do with stealing from me.
You're so disrespectful.
That $1,000 included the money for your rent, you know.
What?
Your apartment is leased by Nathan, remember?
So?
Nathan's away on a business trip today and told me he forgot to pay your rent this month. So I was going to go see your landlord and give him the rent money in cash. So you took $200 from your own rent money.
I didn't know that.
I'll tell Nathan what happened. So please make sure to pay Nathan back $200 from your Social Security check.
Wait a second.
Also, it seems like you made a spare key to our house without our permission. I'm coming over now to take it back.
What's the problem with me having a spare key to my own son's house?
I don't feel safe in my own home knowing you have a spare key.
What?
I'm heading there now. Patricia? What were you thinking sneaking into our house in the middle of the night?
What do you want so early in the morning? I'm still sleepy.
We had a security camera installed last night.
What?
I have footage of you creeping into our house. I thought I had taken the spare key back yesterday. Do you have more?
Of course. I thought something like this might happen, so I had another one made and hid it just in case. I guess I win this round.
I don't really care if I win or lose, but if that's your plan, we'll just change the locks.
What? There's no way Nathan would allow that.
This house lease is in my name, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Is that so?
Patricia, Just because Nathan is away, you've gone too far this time. What were you even doing here last night?
That's besides the point. I know you're hiding something from me, your own mother-in-law. How dare you?
Hiding something from you? What are you talking about?
I looked at your bank records for this past year.
What? My bank records?
You're a disgrace as a daughter-in-law, but I guess you're a good worker. I have no idea who you're working for, but I see that you make $200,000 a year. I can see now why you didn't want to quit your job.
Did you sneak into my house so you could find out how much I make?
Well, yes.
What were you thinking?
Don't act so high and mighty. See here, Mackenzie. As a wife, you have the obligation to quit your job to take care of your husband and your in-laws. If you refuse to do so, you should be giving all of the money you earn to your in-laws. Even more so if you're making this much. So, from now on, I'm in charge of your finances.
What? You're taking charge of my finances?
Now that I know your earning potential, I will admit I see you in a whole new light. Earning $200,000 as a 31-year-old woman is impressive. I see that you've been spending quite a bit, but you still have $150,000 saved. Don't worry, I'll use this money wisely.
Are you serious? Did you take my ATM card?
Yes.
Give it back, right now.
My goodness, what are you talking about? I told you this is mine.
I don't recall giving it to you.
I'm going to tell you one more time. Any money you earn as my son's wife belongs to my son's parents. Which means, as your mother-in-law, it's mine. From now on, I'll spend this money wisely, so all you need to think about is working hard and providing for me.
I've had enough of this. Good morning, Nathan. Can you talk? It's kind of an emergency.
Hey, Mackenzie. I'm on my way to see a client right now, so I can talk. What's up?
So, your mom did something bad.
My mom?
Ever since you left for your trip, she's been out of control. She somehow made a spare key for our place without asking, and she came into the house when I wasn't there and stole $200 from my purse.
What?
And that's not all. I made sure to get the spare key back from her, but she had already made another one. And she came into our house in the middle of the night. She looked at our bank records and saw how much I make. And she took my ATM card.
She did what? Has she withdrawn our money?
No, not yet. While I was texting your mom about getting it back, I called the bank and had them cancel my card.
Oh, okay, that makes things a little better.
I don't think she knows my PIN anyway. And the file with my password and PIN information is at my parents' house, so I don't think she could withdraw any money anyways.
Yeah, you're probably right. My mom never thinks ahead. So she probably thought that she would just take your ATM card and make you tell her your PIN and password later or something. I'm so sorry. When my dad was alive, he also had a hard time with my mom's reckless spending. The real problem is that there's no one who can stop her.
Yeah. Well, she may have my ATM card, but I've already talked with the bank. And the $200 she stole is part of her rent money. So I told her to make sure to pay you back later.
Thanks. I'll make sure she pays me back.
Okay, sounds good. Also, can I go ahead with what we talked about before?
Yeah, this time she's gone too far. I think we can go ahead with our plan.
Okay, I'll get started on that right away then.
Okay, thanks.
Mackenzie, answer me!
Yes, Patricia? What's wrong?
Why are you so nonchalant?
You're the one who told me to answer you.
Whatever. Why is your ATM card getting declined?
What?
I can't pay back my payday loan.
Your payday loan? Patricia, are you in debt?
The due date is today. I couldn't get the money together, so I thought I would use your money to pay it back. So I gave your ATM card to the man from the payday loan company who came by the house today. But he said I couldn't pay him back in that way.
Of course he did. How is he going to use an ATM card without the PIN number?
I thought they could look the pin up or figure it out or something.
Have you been watching too many soap operas or something? It's not like they're hackers. By the way, I've already called the bank and shut down any future activity on my account.
What? How could you do that without my permission?
I'm allowed to do whatever I want with my own account.
I told you that your earnings are mine.
Do you really think that's how the real world works?
It's your obligation to care for your mother-in-law. A bride is never allowed to talk back to her mother-in-law. That's an old ironclad rule that has existed for all time.
Has your brain slipped back to Victorian times?
What?
I guess it can't be helped. No matter how many times I try to talk to you, you won't listen. I give up.
Oh, so you're finally ready to do as I say. Okay, then give me your PIN number right now.
No. By the way, let me tell you what I was planning on using that savings account for. We were actually planning on buying you an apartment with that money.
Huh? Buy an apartment?
After Roger died, Nathan and I talked about the future. After all, your age is getting up there. Eventually, you would need Nathan and I's help. But to be honest, with how you treat me, there's no way I could live with you in the same house, especially if you're stealing money from my purse. So we were planning on buying an apartment for you within walking distance from us. And that way, we could keep each other's lives private. Or so I thought. The ATM card you stole was for a savings account with money for that apartment.
Oh, really? My goodness, you should have told me sooner. If that's what the money is for, I'll give you your card back.
No, that's okay. It's too late, Patricia.
Too late?
We'll only be buying an apartment for ourselves.
What?
After what you've done, both Nathan and I are done with you. Actually, I think we've been too patient with you.
What are you talking about? As I've told you countless times, your job is to take care of me. You better buy me that apartment.
I better buy you, huh? It seems like no matter what I say, we'll never understand each other.
It's your job to understand me and what I want.
We've already moved.
What?
We don't plan on telling you our new address. And we haven't told you yet, but Nathan has started a new job.
A new job?
Yes. So even if you go to his old company, he won't be there.
Fine. I'll go to your workplace.
I quit 2 months ago and am working freelance.
What?
I didn't tell you that either. I started earning more with my side job than I was at my company, and it was hard to do both, so I quit my job.
Just hold on a second. You guys are being so selfish.
That's the last thing I want to hear from you. Oh, and about your current apartment? Nathan will pay your rent until the next contract renewal in March, but we'll be terminating the lease after that. So he says you should figure something out.
What? He's abandoning his own mother. It's his job to take care of his parents in old age.
You've made Nathan and I too mad to care about that anymore.
I can't believe this. I'm going to call Nathan.
He's already blocked you.
What?
I was also planning on blocking you after telling you about your apartment, but there was just so much more I wanted to say to you.
Mackenzie?
Thanks to you, I feel so much better. I'm going to change my number now.
Wait a second.
Just be grateful that I didn't call the police.
Please, wait.
Goodbye. My friend told me that I should have reported my mother-in-law to the police, but apparently the payday loan she took out was from quite a shady company. So I thought it was better for her if she would figure things out for herself as she paid back her loan. At least, I think it'll be better this way. And that shady payday loan place called me to ask about my ATM card. But when I told them that my mother-in-law had taken it without asking and that we would no longer be speaking with her, they said, "So she'll be in that apartment until March, huh?" The man on the phone sounded disturbingly happy about that. By the way, she's about $30,000 in debt. I hope she figures something out.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Ruth? What the heck do you think you're doing getting married before me? Isn't that a little insensitive of you? Everyone knows the cutest sister should get married first. There's a proper order to these things, you know. You need to respect that. It should be illegal for someone as ugly as you to get married before me. Ugh, I wish you'd stop trying to ruin my life already.
Is that really you, Sharon? I almost didn't believe it when I saw the message. It's been that long. What do you want? Why are you messaging me out of the blue after all this time? I don't know what you mean by the proper order of things, but surely anyone would be free to get married whenever they want to. And really, how exactly am I trying to ruin your life? Isn't this all a bit dramatic?
It's not dramatic because you are. You really, really are.
How? I'm not even in a relationship.
It's pointless trying to hide it, I know. I know you guys are already making plans for the wedding day.
I just told you I'm not even in a relationship. That means I'm single, you dummy.
Whatever, liar. Liar, pants on fire. I'm the one who should be getting married first. Do you understand? Me. I'd be a laughing stock if my cave troll of a sister got married before me. I'm the beautiful one. Why can't you consider my reputation for once? I have to be the first one to get married.
You are aware that if you have a boyfriend, you guys are free to get married whenever you like, right? I'm really not stopping you. In fact, I'm rooting for you. You go, girl. You can complain at me till you're blue in the face, but it isn't gonna put a ringer on your finger, you know?
Duh, I know that. But I'm still not letting you get married first. This wedding is not going ahead.
You're right, it's not. Because as I keep trying to tell you, I'm single. The next day.
Ruth, I heard that you're planning on getting married without mine or Sharon's permission. Is this true? This wedding is not happening. I won't allow it.
Huh? Oh Lord, not you two.
Excuse me?
I have no idea how Sharon got into her head that I'm getting married, but I can assure you I'm not.
Liar! She said she saw you, so there's no point in lying. We know, Ruth.
I see. So you also intend on completely ignoring everything I say and causing a huge fuss over nothing, huh? Good grief, you two haven't changed a bit.
Regardless of what you say, it's only right that Sharon be the first one to get married. Can you imagine how upset your beautiful sister would be if you got married before her? What with your face being as unfortunate as it is. You're a grown woman and you need to start thinking about your little sister's reputation in the eyes of the world for once. She'd never heard the end of it.
I said this to Sharon too. But if she has a boyfriend, she's free to get married whenever she likes. I'm not stopping her at all, and she doesn't need to worry about me one bit. Being senselessly harassed by my estranged family over an imaginary wedding is kind of annoying, and I'd appreciate if you stopped.
Excuse me?
Wasn't I clear enough? Try this instead then. Leave me alone. 1 month later.
Hey sis, I found a 100% foolproof guaranteed way of getting married before you.
What? Are you really still going on about this? Aren't you bored yet? Don't you have anything better to do than pester me? Over something that doesn't even make any sense, no less.
Well, you're still making plans for the wedding, aren't you?
Like I told you countless times, I'm single and I have no plans to get married.
You're gonna love this. I hit upon a way to make you give up on your wedding and get married before you. You can consider this message as a declaration of war.
What exactly are you planning on doing?
That's for me to know and you to find out. The plan's going full steam ahead starting tomorrow, so you better prepare yourself.
Once more, I have no boyfriend, no fiance, no husband, and no intention of getting married in the foreseeable future. 10 months later.
You little witch! You had no intention of giving up on the wedding in the end, did you? Why, you little...
What? Mom? Is this by any chance a continuation of your nonsensical ramblings about the imaginary wedding that you should have given up on 10 months ago? You still haven't let whatever this is go?
Don't ever speak to your mother like that, young lady. Like hell I'd give up on something so important. Anyway, back to the point. It's time for you and him to break up and go your separate ways.
Him? If you're talking about this imaginary boyfriend, or fiance, or husband, or whatever he's supposed to be of mine, then I hate to break it to you, but I'm still single, just like I was back then.
The lies stop now, Ruth. I never raised you like this. I don't care how much you kick or scream, but this weekend's wedding ceremony is simply not going ahead. Cancel it. That's an order, not a request.
Interesting. That's the first I've heard of me getting married this weekend.
Listen, Ruth, here's the thing. Your sister Sharon is pregnant.
What?
This isn't going to be easy for you, but listen. And listen carefully. The baby is your fiance's. There's no doubt about it.
What? Who the hell are you talking about? I just feel like a broken record at this point, but I'll say it again. I don't have a boyfriend or a fiance. This person you're talking about doesn't exist. Really, what's going on here? I'm so confused. Have you been causing some poor guy trouble based on a misunderstanding? Please tell me you haven't.
Don't you dare change the subject, young lady. Sharon's already in the last month of her pregnancy.
What? You mean the baby's due soon?
That's right. Sharon, and not you, will be the bride at this weekend's wedding. You might not like it, but this is non-negotiable. Your sister's giving birth in 10 days. Give her your fiancé, now!
Ugh, how many times do I have to tell you? I have no wedding plan, nor do I plan on planning one, nor do I have a fiancé to give my sister. Not that this conversation would be any less weird, even if I was getting married.
How disappointing. I see you're still clinging to your desperate lies in a vain attempt to dodge your responsibilities to your family. If you don't stop this at once, I'm disowning you. You'll never speak to any of us again, I swear. There's no place for you in this family if you don't value your little sister's happiness. Disowning you is the only sensible option.
I really don't mind if you disown me. In fact, I'd actually be super relieved to never have to engage with any of you again. Would you do it? Would you please disown me? In any case, I'm not engaged to anyone.
Excuse me?
If there is a wedding being held somewhere this weekend, then I strongly advise you look into it a little more thoroughly before you turn the happiest day of some poor couple's lives into a nightmare. One thing I can tell you for sure, the bride at whoever's wedding this is not me. The day of the wedding.
Ruth, pick up the phone. What is this? What the heck is going on?
What do you want? Would you mind not spam calling me all of a sudden? I'm kind of at work.
Huh? You're at work?
I'm on a business trip to Seattle to negotiate with a major client.
Seattle?
The only reason I'm replying to you is because I have a little downtime in between talks right now. If you have something to say to me, then make it quick.
Whoa. Hold on a sec. If you're in Seattle right now... I knew it. The bride at the wedding in Chicago just now wasn't you, was it?
Huh?
She was a total stranger. I'd never seen her before. Ugh, you tricked me, Ruth. God damn you.
Just hold on a sec. How on earth am I supposed to understand what's going on if you won't even explain it to me? You just come at me with a load of gibberish and seemingly expect an answer? Please tell me you didn't just crash some poor stranger's wedding. Well, where was it held?
S Weddings Community Hall?
Huh? S Weddings?
Obviously! I saw you and your fiancé, Alex Davis, going in there together about a year ago. Where else would it have been held?
Huh? Alex?
Not only that, but apparently he was seen going in and out regularly afterwards, too. What's more, a little while after that, I overheard him discussing the wedding with someone who seemed to be his friend at a cafe near the hall, and a date was mentioned.
And what date was today?
Yes! That's why I crashed the wedding while pregnant with Alex's baby. But he wasn't even there. I'd never seen the bride and groom in my life, and they were horrified. God, it was so embarrassing. When the security guards ran over and restrained me, the watermelon I had under my jumper fell out and smashed into little pieces all over the floor.
No way. You had a watermelon under your jumper to try and look pregnant?
I had no idea what was going on. I was in such a panic. I just hightailed it out of there as soon as I managed to get the security guards off of me.
You ran away?
Obviously. What else was I gonna do? Stay for the buffet? I'm with Mom right now at the Apple Hotel next to the hall. We've been staying here since last night in preparation for today. We're going home as soon as the heat dies down. I could hear police sirens after I escaped, so we're laying low for now. Oh my God, I can't tell you how embarrassing it was. Even just thinking about it makes me cringe. This is all your fault. You are the worst.
3 hours later.
Ruth, this is bad. Help! Sharon's been captured by the families of the bride and groom at the wedding she accidentally crashed.
Could be worse. Look on the bright side. At least the cops don't have her yet.
What? Wait, do you know about this?
Listen, Mom. That wedding my sister just crashed, it just so happened to be the wedding of one of my coworkers.
What?
This includes a little speculation on my part based on what Sharon just told me herself, but here's why I think she made such a ridiculous misunderstanding. When she saw me walking into the S Weddings community hall with Alex Davis a year ago, I wasn't there to plan a wedding, but to hold a work meeting.
A work meeting?
I work for a large advertising agency that specializes in weddings. S Weddings are one of our biggest clients, and me and Alex, my coworker, regularly hold meetings with them to discuss upcoming proposals and leases on existing contracts. And as a result of knowing what a good company they are through work, Alex decided to get married at one of their venues. It was a small ceremony held only for close friends and family.
What, Alex?
Yes, Alex. You know, the person you convinced yourself was my fiancé. Sharon was under the delusion that she could somehow charm Alex before the wedding and stop it ever going ahead, which, needless to say, failed miserably. But not knowing when to give up, and so hell-bent on being the first sister to get married, she hatched a plan where she'd try and convince Alex she was pregnant with his baby, before ordering him to abandon his wife at the altar and marry her instead. Which is why she barged into the wedding hall screaming and shouting with a watermelon stuffed under her jumper like some escaped mental patient.
But she said Alex wasn't the groom after all. Apparently she didn't recognize anyone. Do you have any idea how embarrassed she was? That poor girl.
That's probably because this whole plan of hers was based on a fundamental misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding? What kind of misunderstanding?
She still hasn't realized, has she? Alex wasn't the groom, she was the bride.
What? The bride?
Alex is a woman.
A woman?
She's always been a big girl. She was the national judo champion back in high school, tall as a giraffe with biceps like a bodybuilder. She typically only wears guyish clothes like baggy pants and blazers. I don't think she even owns a skirt. In her own words, I'm mistaken for a guy pretty much on a daily basis. Apparently, she started going out of her way to make it clear to people she's a woman after this whole incident with Sharon basically stalking her, though.
Alex is a woman? I can't believe it. How could this be?
I'll tell you how it could be. It could be because you both ignored absolutely everything I said at every opportunity. If you would have listened to me for just 1 second, this never would have happened. That's why my sister made a complete moron of herself in front of dozens of people. I had a feeling Alex and her family would probably be looking for the culprit, so I gave her a call. She was speechless when I told her it was none other than my little sister.
You told her? You little snitch! You ratted on your own sister! How could you, you demon?
She ran away without taking even a shred of responsibility for ruining what should have been the happiest day of my coworker's life. There's only one person in the wrong here, and it isn't me.
Ruining?
As a result of her gate crashing the wedding, the whole ceremony got canceled. Sharon will most likely be forced to take responsibility in the form of compensation for the cost of the wedding and damages for the mental anguish caused by her abhorrent behavior. If I had to guess, I'd say she should be receiving some letters in a few days' time. Make sure she checks the mail.
Compensation? Damages? What?
Which is why I advise you to continue this conversation with Alex and her lawyer.
No, please! You have to do something about this. You're her friend. Surely you can make her see sense.
Nope, it's your mess, not mine. Fix it yourselves.
Ruth!
Goodbye. Later on. You would have thought Sharon would have realized she was making a misunderstanding at some point during the 10 months between hearing about the wedding and actually crashing it. Although maybe that would be putting too much faith in the reasoning abilities of someone who'd stuff a watermelon under their jumper and crash a wedding to steal someone's wife? A few days later, I apologized profusely to Alex and her husband for the actions of my family. Fortunately, they were both very understanding, but unfortunately, the reality of my sister ruining their wedding day would never disappear. Just as planned, Alex sued Sharon for compensation and damages for the cost of the wedding and mental anguish she caused. As if that wasn't enough, it turns out she also broke an expensive statue during her dramatic escape from the wedding hall, for which she was also ordered to pay a hefty sum. We're a single-mother family, and after flying the nest long ago, and now intentionally keeping my distance from the terrible two, our mom was the only person in the world my sister had to rely on. Then, one night it happened. My mom ran away in the night. With that, the crippling financial burden was placed squarely on Sharon's shoulders, and on her shoulders alone. Last I heard, she was spending her days wallowing in regret and complaining about how unfair the world is while working like a dog to pay off her debts.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.